Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to Ramadan Reminders by Sapience Institute. In the Quran, we find an array of prophets of Allah, each of whom conveying the message to their own people, and sometimes in different ways, different contexts, and different situations, scenarios. One such prophet, of course, was Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam is an amazingly important prophet for all of us. He's called our father, in fact, in the Quran, together with Adam alayhi salam. He's called our father. Ibrahim alayhi salam was in a context calling his father and his people back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one verse in Surah Al-Anbiya in the Quran revealed in Mecca, Allah says, He said to his people and his father, مَا هَذِي التَّمَاثِيلِ الَّتِي أَنْتُمْ لَهَا عَاكِفُونَ. What are these stones, statues that you venerate? What are these things that you venerate? Now, of course, what Ibrahim a.s. was telling his people, that you're worshipping and looking at things and adoring things, venerating things that are made by people. We make the idols that we're worshipping, is what he's saying to his people. Why would you do that? Why would you worship the things that you create yourself? What gives that substance, that importance, that you would take it as a divine being, as Allah? So he's telling his father, therefore, when he says to his father, what is this? What are these things, statues and stones that you're venerating? And they say, and his father said, this is our gods that we worship in life. In our life today, in our world today, we have like totem-like symbols that people venerate and love as they should love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah in the Quran says, وَمِنَ النَّاسِ, amongst people are those who take others as rivals with Allah. They love them like they should love Allah. And those who believe have a stronger love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What are these rivals? What are these totem-like symbols? What are these false statues that people take as rivals with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Remember, anybody that people admire is one thing. That's fine to admire something. You admire the talent of somebody, the qualities of somebody's precision and art and detail, whatever. That's fine to admire that. But remember, the one that gave that person the gift is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might admire somebody's handsomeness, for example. Who Allah, the one who gave that person that handsomeness, that beauty, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You might admire somebody's talent, skill, athletic abilities, health, but the one that gave all of those things was Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah is the provider of all things. So Allah is saying, therefore, rather than taking these totem-like symbols and things you carve and you make and you manufacture and you have on TV screens and people as if they're gods, rather than all of this, think about the one who gave all of that skill and talent. Think about the provider of all things. And Allah, for example, reminds us, like in Surah Rum, for example, and He says that وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, so many times, and from the signs of Allah, Allah brings the rain, and from the signs of Allah, Allah brings so many things Allah is creating, sustaining, Allah is giving you in life, and from the signs of Allah, all from the signs of Allah. Therefore, focus your attention on that rather than the things that people create by their own hands, with their own hands, and take them as objects of extreme veneration, over-adulation, worship almost, rivalry with Allah. Allah is saying, cut all of that out of your life and focus your efforts on Allah. Focus your love, your attention on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everything else is a product of that. So if you see somebody, you could admire that person for their talent, their skill, that's fine. But don't make that person as if they're God, as if they're Allah. And pay attention to them as if they're Allah. In our world today, we find examples like that. They are like totem-like symbols, celebrity culture, celebrities, people, and people remember their names, and people cry over them, and people even sometimes self-harm because of them. And you think that person has no real regard for you. When the person sleeps, they don't sleep thinking about you. But you've taken them as an object of extreme devotion. And Allah is saying, cut that out of your life, because that's just temporary. And that's like the carvings that Ibrahim is telling his father, what are these things that you're venerating? Stone and statues and images and all of these things, icons, totem-like symbols and icons in our world today. And those of Allah is saying are not worthy of your worship, not worthy of your over-veneration. Think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's of course the prophetic message and the message of Ibrahim alayhi salam to his own people as well. May Allah grant all of us tawfiq. Allahumma ameen.